everyone. Right, so I've got the music on in the background, which is all soundtracks and stuff. So hopefully we're good on that, and it won't get muted or anything weird. And yeah, hi, welcome. So today, a bit different to what I've been doing for the past few weeks, which has been board games and stuff. Because I have this beautiful thing. This is the, as you can see, the Lego Creator Lunar Lander, the Apollo 11 one for the 50th anniversary. It has, you can see that, but it's got the one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind on the side there, and it also has it in French and Spanish, which is interesting. So, c'est un petit pas pour l'homme et un bond de géant pour l'humanité. Doesn't quite roll off the tongue quite as well. I'm not even going to begin to pronounce the Spanish one because I've never really tried Spanish before. I suppose it's not too bad. Es un pequeño paso para el hombre. Alright, I'm probably awful, sorry. Pero un gran salto para la humanidad. Yeah, you can tell I've never done Spanish before, so apologies to any Spanish speakers watching. I'm sorry I mangled your language horribly. And that's it. On this side, it's just got a bunch of diagrams and things, and on this side, it's just the other stuff, you know, the making ofs, etc. The flip side has some other pictures on it as well. So yeah, I'm going to be building this, and since I've got the overhead set up, we've got you know, it's actually much, I think it's better than the trying to make it on the desk that I used to do the streams on before, the Lego ones before. Bit more room. I'm hoping it's light enough. I'm not entirely sure if there's anything else I can do about that, because I've actually got all the lights on. So it's gonna be what it is. I mean, it's gonna hopefully get darker at some point. Although now that we're getting into towards the longest day, it's probably not going to go dark until about 10 or 11 or something. We'll have to see how it goes, but hopefully you can see stuff anyway. So yeah, well, let's get going. I think it's just over 1,000 pieces, so fingers crossed I might be able to get all of this done tonight. If I can't, for whatever reason, then I will try and get it done on Monday, or get it finished off on Monday. I'm just puzzling here. I mean, I could turn the little Keo light on, but I don't actually know if it's really enough to make a difference. But if I do this, then I mean, you can see there's a little bright spot on the box, but it doesn't really help the light much. But let's just get everything out, and we'll move the box. We'll put the box aside, and then we'll get going. I'm gonna put that over there. Right. So what we got? So yeah, if you want to just ask questions or comment or whatever, feel free. It's just going to be a kind of hang out and chat stream, really. So let's see what we got. That's all the bag 4 there. Sorry, them all quickly here. That's bag 1, bag 2. Also 2, we got the manual, 3, lots of shiny things in it, and is an unnumbered bag with some long pieces in it. So, how are we doing on that? That's all fine. Right. Okay, so let's, as usual, we do this in order. So let's move them aside. And that's 1 and 2, and that's 3. And that's the other one. So we got plenty of room. I wonder. Just looking at it on the screen here. If I put that there. Let's put these on there. That will give us a bit more space on the side, and we can just work in the middle here. Alright, so hopefully you can hear me alright. I tried a little recording earlier on with the music on and it wasn't overbearing. So let's see what we've got in here. Manual. Not a very huge one. 179 steps. Oh, it's got a whole load of stuff on the front. Oh, that's cool. So what we got? Whole bunch of stuff, historical stuff, which is nice. Lots of little trivia bits, photos. Nice. I like the one giant step for a man. I don't know if they've actually figured out if he actually said that or not. I think he said that he did, but it didn't come out on the radio. But it works either way. Lots of like little blueprinty things. Going forward a bit, that's not Apollo era, that's Space Shuttle era. Cool, and then there's all the other stuff. Apparently ignition in French is allumage. L'Eagle a atterri. Eagle has landed. Cool. Ignición in Spanish. El Eagle ha alunizado is the eagle has landed. And then I'm not going to mangle that again. Cool, okay. Right, so these are the steps now. So bag 1, bag 2, bag 3, bag 4. So as we go through, that's what we're going to get up to. Just dump all that on the floor there. Also shiny stickers. So we'll put them on later on. Okay. So yeah, hopefully it's alright. I don't know if it's just the cover, the table cover is dark here, so it might be making everything look darker than it actually is. But right, let's see what we got. Okay, let's get all this out. Get all this stuff together. Get everybody and the stuff together. Invoke some cowboy bebop. Okay, and this. We might need some of these extra bits here, maybe. DLC. Oops, turn all that bit off. Never mind. It's on your bag. It's fine. Right. Yeah, I'll keep an eye on the lighting situation as the evening progresses and see. But I've got like the razor light on. I've got the stand light next to the table on. I've got the overhead light for the room on. Looks like that's all I can do. So let's assemble our space dude. And he is like that. Hip. And then he's got this whopping great contraption on. Interesting. So there you go. Put him up like that and you can see him a bit better. So yeah, he's got a whole big contraption on. And there should be a little helmet cover in here, I guess, somewhere. Is there? Oh, there's another bag of stuff. That's where that is. So yeah, this is this kind of view for the Lego is an experiment as well. Like I do Lego streams where, you know, basically whenever I get some Lego. I haven't got an awful lot of Lego recently, which is why I haven't done them for a while. But this is the first time I've been able to do one with this setup. There we go. He's got his shiny helmet on there. It doesn't go up or down. It's just like a fixed in place thing. But cool. Nice little jetpack thing. Very nice. So we got 7 of these long things. 7 of these big long black things. Have we got that? Is that actually black or is it grey? Hard to tell. Well, there's definitely 2 of them. Oh, hang on. There's some stuff here. Why do they call that bag 1 when this isn't bag 1? It's all in here. Naughty Lego. I think this is what it's talking about because there's more of those things in there. Yeah, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we've got 1 of these and 1 of these. So that's definitely what they're referring to, I think. So that all comes together as the landscape. So let's see what we got. So this is all part of the mix as well. I may be beginning to regret putting this manual way up top here. Okay, that's a little bit better. Right, so we get 1 of them, and we get 1 of these, and we do that. Let's get this party started. So we got 3 and a 3 and a 3. Put that in the middle. And then what do? Put another 1 of these here. Comme ça. And then we put another load of that. Okay, so we got that. Extend that out. Sounds like some Stellaris in the background there. Don't know if you can actually hear the music. But I figure I'm safe to play game soundtracks because that never gets, well, they mostly don't get flagged by all the whatever muting things and all that. There are some songs that do, but I don't think any of the ones I have on here will. Like The Last of Us had a couple of songs that got flagged for some reason. I don't really know why. It's all a bit arcane, but this lot should be safe. Right, and then so I'm just working my way to number 6 now. Put that there. And what are these? Two little bits there. There we go. So that's our thing so far. Just building up the base here. Let me just put that on the end, right? So we get another one of them. Put that there. Put that there. We've got 3 more of them. Like that. Now we're on 8. And then we go to 9. What do we do here? I like how they've got little, I don't know if you can see this. Do that. Maybe you can see that a bit better. But they've got little red outlines around the new bits. Like here and here. Which is, I don't think I've seen that in a previous book. But that's rather nice because it kind of draws your eye to the bits you need to add. Sometimes it can be a bit tricky to see. So let's go there, and then this goes there, like that. Sorry, one sec. On the computer. Not that I can see that, but it's a little bit clearer now. Right, so where were we? We had just put that on, right? So we've now, this is now 8, sorry, 10. So like that looks like the base is almost complete there, really. Let's see what else we have. Let's see what else we have to build. So, one of these and one of the other grey long ones. Is that a grey long one? That's a light grey long one. It's about the right length. Yeah. It's hard to tell. I mean, I suppose that's dark grey, that's light grey, but yeah, it's hard to tell sometimes. Let me put that there. Like that, and then we put the big squares on the end like this. And then what are these? 2 of them, okay. So that a long one down here, and then this is another one of these, I guess. So we got to do 2 of these apparently. It's so that's going to extend the base, I think. No, that's over here. That's interesting that they didn't put that. See, that's interesting because these, sorry, these things. Get this out. Come on. Right, there we go. So, going back to how this was, I would have thought you've got this like little seam here. I would have thought you'd put these little guys like there to anchor both of those together, but they don't apparently. They just go here. So that's a bit odd. But that's that. But we got to do two of these. So. So let's do the other one. Do. And do that. And then put the end bit on there and the end bit on there. Whap. Put that there. Overhanging a little bit. There it is. Like that. And then just put those two on again. Same place as before. Mysteriously not on the overlap. Put the little side bits on there. And then this goes. Sorry, get the space dude off. This goes like that. And then the other one goes on this side. In a way that you can see what I'm doing. So there we go. That's the flat base bit, which is there. So now what? Now we start putting the smooth bits on the outside. Okay, so we got all these little smooth parts. It looks like it's all symmetrical, really. So yeah, we'll just slap them on. 1, 2, 3. Should be 9. 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it should work. 7, 8, and 9. There we go. Right, that's all there. All well and good. And then the front part, so this is going to be the front, that's got slightly different bits. So we got a 4 there and a 4 here. And then there is one that actually has Apollo Lunar Lander written on it, which I did see. There it is. So that's the one. Boop. There we go. So that will go in the middle here. Quite nice. So all this is doing, all we're doing here is making the front, like not the front, the base. So this is how big it's gonna be. So it's probably gonna be about sort of knee tall. I don't know if you can see that. Kind of hard to do at this angle. Now what? So need these funny bits here. And we need a couple of, no, 3 of those, 2 of those, and there's 2 of these. Okay, so that goes here. And then we got one of these things with a hole. Oops, and then that goes on here if it'll fit. There it goes. We've got 2 smooth bits. And then we've got another one of these. Like that. And then we got another one of the things with the hole. Like that. Like this. And then we've got one big block thing, 2 of them, 3 more of the smooth bits, and 1 little nub. Interesting. Okay, so put them at the bottom. Like that. And then this one goes like that. So again, it always interests me when these Lego sets, they're calling for this stuff here, right? These little nubs. But then I'm covering them up. So it's almost like, why is that important that that's a little round nub thing like that, and not a normal little 1 square jobby? You know, it's a little weird how they decide that, because you can't even, I mean, you can barely see it from here, like under here, you can just barely see it under there, but who's ever going to look at the underside of this? Does that hold on to the pieces a little better somehow? Is there some kind of functional reason for that, for putting that one there? I just wonder how they just decide that. It's like kind of the perennial unanswered question about Legos, really. And then that goes there, because I keep asking it whenever I build it, and I've never heard an answer. Maybe it's just designer's whim or something. Right, so now we're good. We got that, and that. So far, really see the Keo reflection thing, can't you? Right. Moving on. What we got there? Two long things. That's these. And 2 of those. And then 2 more smooth bits. So we're just kind of putting this all up here, basically. This is our building spot. So if we 6 over. Let me put the 2 long bits in the middle. Might be better to actually put this underground and press them in. So there's a hard surface there. And then a long bit there. And then the 2 other bits here. So it's all very kind of irregular looking, which is, I guess, the idea, because it's supposed to be the surface of the moon. And that does look pretty irregular. Let's have a look. Like, let me just experiment with the lights here. See if that's any better over here. Not really. Yeah, I don't understand why the lights are so dark at the moment. It's very weird. Right, anyway. What's this soundtrack? Oh yeah, it's the Journey one. I think it's the Journey one. It's Austin Wintory. So we've got some corner bits, little smooth corner bits here. And then we got one of these. And we got the bigger one of them. Okay. So put that there. A bit more dramatic sounding. It's Battletech though. That can go here. I should at some point I should give the new Battletech expansions a go, because I got the base game obviously, because I streamed that a while back, last year now I think, but they've had the Flashpoint stuff, and I think the Urban Warfare one is just out, but I would be rather interested in seeing that one. I'll have to get back into figuring out how to play the game though. I have figured out I think I figured out the issue I had with the sound on my PlayStation though, which is nice. So the audio isn't crackling anymore. And the funny thing is that kicked in after I finished my Assassin's Creed Odyssey stream. Then I started obviously trying to set stuff up for the board gaming stuff there, and of course that's when I added like the extra cameras, and for reasons unknown, it looks like if you add a Logitech 920 camera and you put it at like 1080p or 1080 resolution, that is what somehow screws up the sound, and I don't know why. I'm assuming it's some kind of weird bandwidth thing, but as soon as I knocked that back down to 720, the sound cleared up. So yeah, took me a while to figure that one out, but it does seem to work now. So it means the ultimate point of all this is that I can actually get back to streaming computer games again, which would be nice. So I have actually started playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey again, because I did say that I've got all the expansion stuff to get through, and in the meantime they have finished the first block of expansions, like the Legacy one, or the Bloodlines one, or whatever it was, Legacy of the First Blade. And they're 2 episodes into the Fate of Atlantis one. So I figure I don't know when the last episode of Atlantis is going to come out, but I figure that we're at a good point to jump back into the game. So yeah, I'll see how that goes. I mean, I'll be interested to see how interesting it is still now that I got to level 50, and you know, most of the normal quests seem pretty kind of meh, really. You know, like I feel like I'm overpowered, but of course I'm pretty sure the expansion stuff, the DLC, is going to be higher level. Plus, the expansion is actually more story, and that's really what I'm playing the game for. Yeah, so it'll be interesting, but that will happen imminently. I might even start next week. I don't know. The plan now, really, with the streams, is that I'm just gonna kind of do them a bit more casually, I guess, because now that I got to the affiliate stage, I don't like have to do them every week. So that's why I can sort of spread it out a bit. Sometimes I'm just feeling too tired to do one or whatever, and I think I've got more people who are the people who watch what I do tend to watch it on YouTube more than on Twitch, I think. It's less of it's less of people expecting a stream every week. More like it's just do it whenever, and I'll watch it whenever. So yeah, if you do that, then thank you. That is appreciated. And while I'm on the subject, since I'm just rambling, I am affiliate now, so that means theoretically that people can sub to my channel and so on. I'm honestly not expecting anybody to sub to anything that I'm doing right now, because there's no, I'll be completely honest, there's no reason for you to do that. Unless you really want to throw money at me, in which case I won't stop you, but you're probably not going to get much more out of it, because there's I don't know, I don't really have any kind of theme or anything to make emotes out of and all this sort of stuff, and I'm really just doing streaming just because it's something I want to do. It's not something that I want to really make any money out of or anything like that. Yeah, it's it's just going to be carrying on as it is, really. So yeah, I would actually advise against throwing money at me for now, at least, because I've got no plan for making it worth your while more than it would be already, if you think it is worth your while. So what we got there? Got some bits here. So yeah, it's there, but it's not going to do. It's not really going to result in anything particularly special. Where is this? There, I think. Yeah. Here we go. But we'll see. I mean, if anyone's got ideas for anything that I could do, then let me know. Like I said, it's not something I'm going into like full time or anything like that. This is just a hobby. So I'm totally not expecting anybody to attempt to sub to me or anything like that. I suppose if you do, then I'll have to think of something. I'm not like all these other streamers that really have a proper brand or anything like that. beyond just evil Dr. Ganymede. Here we go, crater, looks of it. So yeah, that's that rambling over anyway. But yeah, it was largely just for people who, if anyone did notice that I was affiliate, then that's kind of why nothing's really happening on that front to develop it. Because yeah, it's funny because I'm doing this. I'm not really a kind of you know, I see other streamers and they're like right proper entertaining and stuff like that, and I'm not really that kind of person. I'm not really an entertainer. I just do what I do. So you know, I do what I do, and I hope that people enjoy what they see and give me nice feedback and stuff. But like I say, I'm doing this more as a hobby, not as a professional type thing. I mean, you know, hats off to everyone who does do this like more seriously, because it's quite a stressful thing, really. And I can't imagine that like making a whole career out of it that's just entirely reliant on donations and subscriptions and stuff like that. It seems like quite a high stress thing. But I am glad I made it up to affiliate, at least, just because it was a point of getting up to, you know, just feeling like I got somewhere, at least, with the streaming. But even doing that was really quite stressful. What we got here? We got some little we got some funny little corner pieces here. So anyway, yeah, that's that rambling done. What else can I ramble on about? Blah. I mean, if anyone's watching, anyone got any thoughts on that? If you're watching on YouTube, like, if you drop me a comment, that'd be awesome. Right, there we go. Put all these little bits here. So I guess this is where the, what is it? There's a big crater here or something that we're building. Yes, there's a big crater. It's that thing that we're building here. Put that here. So film-wise, changing the subject, I did watch Dark Phoenix on what was it? Saturday? No, Tuesday. I watched it on Tuesday evening, and it was a bit disappointing, really, as you might have gathered from if you read my Twitter. Yeah, it was a bit flat, really. It wasn't as bad as the first X-Men Incarnations version of it was, which I actually can't remember because it was so bad. But yeah, it just didn't really go anywhere. I think part of the problem was that what's his name? Bryan Singer wasn't directing it, because he seems to have done all the good X-Men films, and not the the worst ones. Like, I mean, Last Stand was pretty terrible. I don't think he did that one, and he didn't do this one either. But yeah, I'm kind of wondering if this whole Dark Phoenix thing just either isn't as good as everyone made it out to be from the comics, which I doubt because it was a pretty big, certainly a pretty big thing at the time. Or it just doesn't translate well to the big screen. I don't know, because I mean, I think this this incarnation of it did go through various kinds of production hell, so that didn't help. It's a shame because like the new X-Men films from like First Class, was it First Class, Days of Future Past, and Apocalypse, I love them. Like I think they're awesome. And I actually watched the very first X-Men film from 2000, and I watched that like a couple of nights ago just to remind myself, and that wasn't bad. But I mean, First Class was way better. It kind of also is interesting because it drops, like the first X-Men film kind of just drops you right in it, like all the heroes are there already. Whereas in First Class, they actually, it's more of an origin thing, like they're tracking everyone down, and then they're sort of growing over time. I think the other interesting thing, of course, is that the first series of films had Wolverine and Rogue in them, and Iceman. I think he was in the second one. He's definitely in the first one as a teenager. But also kind of wonder how much of the Raven effects, like the Mystique effects, that they reused, kind of thing. Like, did they just sort of use the same method to do her in the reboots as they did in the original films? Because they look very similar. It's a different actress, but who I noticed didn't actually say anything at all in the first one. I don't actually recall her saying any actual words. She might have screamed, I think, at one point, but it was Rebecca. I've forgotten her last name. It's a double barrel thing. Morgan Stamos or something like that. I don't know, but yeah, she didn't say anything. And I have no. Funny thing is, I have no idea what she looks like because she spent the whole time in either looking like Mystique or looking like somebody else that she was impersonating. So yeah, like Raven definitely got more attention in the reboots. But I'll watch X2 again. I'll see what that was about. I don't recall if that was the one that had the Phoenix stuff in it, or if that was the third one. I'm pretty sure it was the third one. Yeah. But yeah, this one was just lacking. Just kind of came and went, and I think a lot of the reviews have been pretty underwhelmed by it, which is a shame because it's it's supposed to be a pretty epic story. But I think the trouble is you're trying to cram this epic story into not even 2 hours of film, and it just doesn't really work. Like, even if I think in the in this continuity, I think we only met Jean Grey in Apocalypse. I don't think she was in Future Past or First Class. So we haven't had that long to really kind of get attached to her. Whereas in the comics, you can just sort of spread it all out into this big, drawn out epic thing over months. Yeah. The amusing thing was I I always thought that the whole Phoenix thing, the whole Dark Phoenix thing, was that she got possessed by some alien force or something. But I was reading a summary of the comics because I haven't actually read those comics, and she, at least according to the summary, if I understood it correctly, she goes up in space for some reason, gets exposed to a solar flare, which then boosts her abilities to their, like, beyond their maximum or something. And then she kind of turns into this godlike entity, and then wanders off for a bit, blows up a star and destroys a civilization in the process, because she can, and comes back to Earth. And then I think the comics about, like, basically her going a bit crazy from all that, and then eventually it sort of, in the comic, I mean, spoilers for the comic, it ends with her dying, essentially. Like, you know, I won't go into how or why, just in case you do want to read it, but yeah, it sort of ends in her death, and everyone's sad about it and so on, which is how it's gone in the films usually as well. But yeah, they kind of had elements of that in Dark Phoenix, but they, you know, they didn't have all the background for it or anything either, and they didn't introduce that either. They could have introduced it here, but maybe they thought because it was all like the last film of the reboots, because I think they're not planning on doing any more of these ones. They probably thought it wasn't worth doing. Because I think then if there are any further X-Men films, they're gonna get that more in line with the Marvel, you know, the official Marvel Cinematic Universe thing. Yeah, so it'll be a new series of stuff. So sorry, I'm gonna do the flag sticker now, which is 13, which is this one. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm probably just going to end up ignoring Dark Phoenix, to be honest, as part of this lot, because I've got the first three of the reboots on DVD, and that's going to be it for me, really, on that front. And I'll just pretend Dark Phoenix never happened, really. Again, not because it was bad, it just kind of felt really underwhelming. It didn't do anything. There we go. So that's our little landscape there. You can see that. Again, I wish I knew why things look so dark here, but that's it. So that's what, you know, our lander's going to be quite, you know, like that tall, I guess, to this scale. So that'll be interesting to see. Yeah. So anyway, that was Dark Phoenix. Yeah, underwhelming, unfortunately. Don't really rush out and see it. I honestly can't recommend it. Right, got that there. Bag 2 out. So while I've been prattling away, I've managed to get all the base done. So yeah, I guess if you've watched Dark Phoenix, let me know what you think. If you were interested in it. I mean, I suppose it hews a bit more closely to the comic than the way they did it the first time around in the films. But apparently, the cartoon version, like the X-Men cartoon in the 90s, like apparently that's really close to the comic. So if you want to watch the Phoenix Saga, really, you watch that one. which I still haven't really watched those X-Men cartoons. Haven't really found a good way to see them. Plop. Right, there we go. So, what else did I see recently? John Wick 2, John Wick 3, Parabellum. Saw that recently. Quite like the John Wick films. I like the world building in them. Like, I mean, the action parts I can, they just hit or miss really. But the story, like the world, is really interesting. Like this whole, it's all like brutal assassins and stuff. But there are these rules, and there's this sort of whole kind of society going on there that's very interesting. And John Wick 3, Parabellum, that expands on it more in weird directions, unexpected directions, shall we say. It's got ridiculous action scenes, like the first big fight is in some kind of, I don't know what it is, some kind of antique warehouse or museum or something, but it's just utterly ridiculous. Like, it is so, it's like sort of so ridiculously over the top. It's crazy, but it's kind of fun. Couple of the fights outstay their welcome a bit. I think they could have just sort of finished them like 5 minutes earlier than they actually did, because again, it's one of these, like, you guys have got like 50,000 hit points and you're just getting whittled down slowly over time. Because there's hits that these people take that they should be just like down, that's it, you're dead, but they're still fighting, and it's just a bit sort of very cartoony, but I mean that's kind of the point of it, I think. So what we're building here, the lower part of the lander now. But yeah, it was fun. There is no spoilers here, but there's going to be a part 4. It hasn't ended yet. It does end on a bit of a cliffhanger. But yeah, it's quite interesting. But it's fun. I don't know if I probably will get it on DVD when it comes out, or Blu-ray or whatever. Since I have the other two. But yeah, it was a funny one. It was like, I didn't expect to like John Wick that much, but I did. Like, the first one's brilliant. Like, I really, really liked the first one. Because all the characters in the show, in the film as well, like because I loved the whole thing about, like, this all basically started because somebody killed his dog, and then he goes on this massive murder spree, and everyone in the films, in all of the films, like, keeps bringing that up all the time and going like, yeah, like this all happened over a bloody dog. So it's quite fun. Right, what we got here? We got some funky little piece over here. This one, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, I think those are the 2 films I've watched of late. Seems to be a bit of a lack of good small sci-fi films this year. Nothing has leapt out at me so far, because I'm quite a fan of those. There was The Wandering Earth a few months ago, which is certainly not a small sci-fi film, considering it's this massive, high-budget sci-fi from China. Um, but that was ridiculously fun. I was quite surprised at that. You know, I didn't know what to expect going in. I was like, it's some weird story about like something happening and oops, where did I put that one? Something happening and then people decide to physically attach massive engines to the whole planet and move it wholesale to another star, which is a completely bonkers idea. I mean, there's no way there's just no way it could work at all. Like, I mean, the amount of thrust you need, the amount of energy you need, the effects it have on the planet, it's just absolutely ridiculous. Um, but it's one of those things where, you know, I mean, you know, you get people like talking about Space 1999, which is a series that at least the first season of, I love dearly. And they always go, you can't do that. You can't blow the moon out of orbit. You know, that would, destroy the moon, blah, blah, blah. You know, and it's got a load of flack over the years because of that. Undeservedly, I think. Because, yes, that's true, but, you're kind of missing the point of the show, guys. But the... similar thing with Wandering Earth. It's just, you just can't do this. It's just completely ridiculous. But if you just go in and go, right, that's what we're dealing with. That's the axioms of the show. This is the rules. We're playing by these rules. Let's just go with what would happen if this could actually go ahead. But if you go into it like that, it's actually really, really good fun. I mean, it basically turned out to be a ridiculous scale disaster movie. Like 2012 ain't got nothing on this. I mean, 2012 was the previous completely bonkers, out there, ridiculous disaster film. And I mean, I was quite surprised by that film as well, because 2012 is not a good film by any means. But 2012 does hit all of it's got all the cheesy disaster movie tropes, and I'm a sucker for disaster movies. And despite its complete and utter ridiculousness, I actually ended up quite, enjoying it really. So, but yeah, it's that level of stuff, because they move the Earth out of orbit. They've got this massive ring of engines around it. They've stopped its rotation, and they've got this huge ring of, I think they've got a ring around the equator of engines, and then they've got engines just all around the backside of it, all over the place. And they've got all the people are living in these sort of massive underground cities now or something. But of course it all starts going horribly wrong. They haven't even left the solar system yet. They managed to fire the engines and move the Earth out of orbit, but they're trying to do they're trying to do a swing by of Jupiter to pick up speed, and they miscalculate, and they come in to like the wrong angle, and they're ending up basically trying to do everything they can to stop the Earth from hitting Jupiter or being torn apart by Jupiter, and it's just completely out there bonkers. And all sorts of crazy stuff happens. There's all these like heroic things happening, was people trying to restart the engines and all that. But it was so much fun. I really, really enjoyed it, and it's one of those films where you just forget it's in a foreign language. I mean, the subtitles were whizzing by a little bit quickly in some places, which was a little tough to follow. But generally, I mean, it was kind of hard, because you were reading the subtitles and trying to watch this big screen, and it's like you're missing stuff. But eventually, you get used to it. But you just forget it's in Chinese, and it sort of just translates itself in your head, which is fun. But yeah, it's really good. I would recommend watching that. It's a fun one. I don't know if I haven't actually seen it on DVD or anything yet. Where is this bit? There it is. Is that right? No, that's not right. Yeah, it's a good one. That's the only kind of sci-fi film I hadn't heard of before, basically, which is as close as you can get to a small press kind of sci-fi film that I've heard of this year, really. They had a very limited release in the cinema, which is where I saw it. Would have been awesome in IMAX, but it didn't have an IMAX release, unfortunately. At least not where I was. Oh, hey Doc. Sorry, I'm just prattling on about movies here. Yeah, I was talking about the Wandering Earth film. How is this looking? If you're still there seeing this, because I'm worried that it looks a bit dark, but I can't do anything. I can't really do anything to improve the lighting because I've got all the lights on. Hopefully it's okay. Yeah, I don't know why it is. I've got all the lights on full. I've even got the camera light on, which you can see in the reflection here. Probably. There you go. You can see the reflection. Yeah, I don't know why it's so dark. I think it's probably because the boards are actually bright. So, like, you know, they'll take up a big area here, and I guess maybe the exposure or something is different. That's what I could fiddle around with the exposure, I suppose. That might be worth doing. Hang on a sec. Let's see if I can do this without breaking anything. I know it's going to look a bit weird if I change things here, but oops, that would help if I press the right button. Just gonna overkill it. Oh, hey, here we go. That's a lot better. Wow, that's much better. Why don't we go with that? Is that better? Is that focus and stuff? I think it is. Yeah. Damn. Oh, why didn't I think of that earlier? God damn it. Well, got half the stream in relative darkness. Sorry. Well, now, at least you can see it now. You see, this is the thing. The only downside with doing these streams kind of intermittently is that I kind of forget how to do them. Alright, well, there we go. Now that's way better than it was. Sorry for the darkness. It just completely blanked that I could just fiddle with the exposure. I think I was just so surprised that you know, all the other stuff was working. But, you know, it wouldn't be a stream of mine if it didn't have some ridiculous technical problem that was easily fixed. Oh well. So anyway, yeah, Dark Side of the Moon, absolutely. But yeah, hopefully that's good. Yeah. Well, the dark side would rotate to the light side anyway because the moon rotates. It's not fixed. Or at least it's not fixed relative to the sun. Where's the other thing? But yeah, no catastrophic event necessary. No gigantic nuclear explosions or anything like that are required. So this bit, while I'm prattling on here, like I've got to make 4 of these things, so that's what I'm doing with this. So I suppose, like, do I need this light on? Maybe I don't need that on anymore. Is that any better? I think that's all right. Does that look fine? Doesn't really look any different, does it? Yeah, okay. Right, because then at least we don't have the glare from the top anymore. So, yeah, we don't see the moon. Well, we don't see the far side of the moon. We see the dark side of the moon all the bloody time. Because, you know, when the moon's half, we're seeing half of the dark side. And so on. I think it's getting towards full now, isn't it? Out in the real world. Right, where was I here? I got to do this. Maybe if I do two of these at once, that will make it go quicker. Can you hear the soundtracks and stuff in the background, by the way? I don't know how audible it is. D says it's what? Like near full. Oh, okay, right. Yes. Yep. I do wonder if I am actually a bit of a lunatic in that sense. I seem to feel like I have a bit more energy when the moon is kind of full. I don't know if that's just all in my mind or something, but it's a bit weird. You can hear it, yeah. It's not overpoweringly loud, hopefully. There's a bunch of soundtracks playing in the background. There we go. That's that. I'm going to speed through this bit, and then we can carry on with whatever's next. So how are you doing? Oh, that's fine. The buffer between you typing and me reading it was probably something as well. I know that, like, sometimes if I'm showing something off here, I'm looking at my laptop, which is like 30, well, not 30 seconds, but it's like 10 seconds delayed or something. So it's you know, I kind of end up showing things for longer than I need to because I'm waiting for the laptop to show it. Oh, yay! No farming simulator for real. Good. Although, you know, I mean, it's still light outside, which is ridiculous. Right, I think that's got that, and that's got that, and then I just need to put these things on here, and then I think that's actually done. Cool. Well, yeah, you can keep me company. At least for a bit. So, yeah, we've got 4 bags of stuff like this. Also, this to do. And this bag. If you didn't see it, that's what we're doing. See, I'll do my pause thing again here. For it to show up on the screen. I just have to take it on faith that it's going to appear. So yeah, it's 1,087 pieces. Although it kind of makes me wonder because there's always some spares left over, and I'm like, do they actually count the spares in that, or what? Or is that just how many it's supposed to have without those? So yeah, I mean, hopefully, I mean, where are we now? About an hour and a bit into it. And I don't know where I am on this actually. I'm probably about halfway, maybe 2/5 of the way, 40% of the way. So yeah, I may be able to get it done tonight. I'm hoping I will. and then maybe next week. If I don't finish it tonight, I'll finish it on Monday. But maybe next week I might be able to start Assassin's Creed Odyssey again or something, or resume that anyway. Again with the lag. Time to find out what. Like how many pieces? Oh no, the whether they count the spares. I'm not going to tweet them right now. I might tweet them afterwards though. Although I know a few Lego experts, I could probably ask them. They'll probably know. There we go. Hey, right. Right. So we're now on this one, which is find some corner pieces. Where are they? 1, 2, 3, 4. Do. I think I've got some. Yeah, I should have some Horizon Zero Dawn soundtrack on here, on the loop here. But I just threw on everything I could, basically. that wouldn't get copyright hit. Hopefully. So it's a mix of stuff like Horizon Zero Dawn, Lifeless Planet, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Submerged, I think, Journey, Unfinished Swan, Edith Finch. Have you played that yet? Yeah, it's good. I don't know how much of my Horizon Zero Dawn stream you watched. But yeah, hopefully you haven't watched enough to give away all the cool stuff. What is this now? That's these things. But there is a lot of cool stuff in it, especially with the story. Like, the story is awesome. Yeah, I don't think they actually mentioned anything about the Horizon Zero Dawn 2, if they're doing that. I don't think they mentioned that in E3. So, hopefully they are. Oh, have you played any more of Edith Finch though? Because I think you said you started it. Oh, yeah. Assassin's Creed Greek sea shanties. Right, there we go. So that's that, and then we got 4 of these. And that goes like this. Oh, okay. Well, get going with it. Stop killing colossi. Do you have issues playing Edith Finch as well? Does that bring on the motion sickness too, or? Because that's a serious crimper on playing games for sure. I suppose that's something I could yak about for a bit, the all the E3 stuff, which I didn't go to, of course, but was reading about and watching videos on. from all the people that did. Well, mostly PlayStation Access, because they're the guys I follow. And if you don't watch PlayStation Access and you're a PlayStation fan, then you need to watch PlayStation Access, because they're brilliant. It's a YouTube channel who are an awesome bunch of folks. Big fans of them. I was watching them for like probably a couple of years before I even had a PlayStation, because they were just so much fun to watch. Yes, but they do loads and loads of videos. They do some streams as well. They're a really, really good bunch. And yeah, but they were there and doing stuff. And one of them, it's funny because one of them, Holly, left PlayStation Access and joined CD Projekt Red, who are now making Cyberpunk 27. So she's like in on all of that, which is pretty awesome. They actually did an interview with Mike Pondsmith, which was really, really interesting. Because I had no idea he was African American. Like the designer of one of the best tabletop role-playing games ever is African American. Why the hell aren't there more African American designers then? Like, you know, it's just, you know, if that ain't a great role model to have, I don't know what is. I mean, I suppose to be fair, there is a diversity among role-playing game designers that maybe more than in video games or something. I don't know, but it could be more, could be better. What am I doing here? That's 5. Am I skipping a bit? Oh no, I'm skipping a bit. Hang on. But yeah, that was really cool. And he's got. It seems like a really cool guy. He's got an amazing baritone voice. Oh my god. It's quite the voice. Oh no, it was right. No, I'm doing this bit right. Yeah, sorry. But yeah, he was talking about. There's an interview that PlayStation Access did that he's talking about the how they designed Cyberpunk 2020 and how it ties in with the game. And there's a Cyberpunk Red coming out, which I think is a new incarnation of the tabletop game. Which they didn't actually say when it was coming out, but I am going to be all over that, I'll tell you. Because Cyberpunk 2020 is just amazing. And I mean, this 2077 is basically the video game of that. It's just set a bit in the future. But it's got all the references and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, it's really good. I think, didn't CD Projekt Red do The Witcher as well? They did some other big games, didn't they? Which I still haven't played. What's going on here? Oh, it's that. Yeah, I still haven't played that. Because it's, I mean, that's another 200-hour epic, really, isn't it? It's on the list. Also looks considerably more kind of brutal than what I'm used to. I think I've seen a little bit of the beginning of it where I know somebody steals something from a forge or something, and then you catch him and they basically just put him to death. It's like, right, you're gonna hang tomorrow. Like, oh, okay. Bit harsh world then. It's not quite Skyrim-y or something like that, which is awesome. But no, it's on the list. Is it worth playing Witcher 1 at all? Because I got 1, 2, and 3 because they did a sale thing. But like, is it worth looking at those ones, or is it just, should I just dive into 3 and leave it at that? Where's my other bits here? Looking for the other claw bits. Where are they? There they are. What else did I see? Final Fantasy VIII Remaster. I know most people are going nuts over the Final Fantasy VII. Well, hang on, remake. Yeah, the Final Fantasy VII remake, which I'm also excited for. But the Final Fantasy VIII remaster thing, which is basically just Final Fantasy VIII with modern graphics. Oh my god, that's going to be good. Right, yes, okay, so I'll start with 3 on that one. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Final Fantasy VIII was the first one I actually played, and I played them all on PC, so, you know, I didn't even play the original versions. But I really loved 8. Really loved 7 as well, but 8 was the one that kind of, I guess, since it was the first one, it kind of stuck in my head more. I've got more of an attachment to it, I guess. How does that go? Oh, it's like that. But I cannot wait for that because it's really suffered with age, graphics wise. Like, it's very, you know, you look at the characters and they're all really kind of grainy graphics, like that old style graphics. Yeah, I played 8 on the PC. I might have played it with a really, really crappy sound card as well. Because I remember, I mean, it must have been like mid-90s, I think. I'm kind of wondering, did I play 7 first or did I play 8 first? Because I got a distinct memory of playing 7, of like starting 7 in my my room at university, because I was in the first year of university then, in the halls. Was it in the first year? Maybe in second year, but it was in early in my university anyway, so like mid-90s, maybe, and it was maybe mid to late 90s actually, but it was I had like an old, I think, Sound Blaster 16 or something sound card, and it was really beepy. And then I remember upgrading that to like a 32 or something, and then suddenly it's like, oh my god, there's chords, like there's actual music. It's not just beepy, and that was a revelation. And then of course, later on I discover the orchestral soundtracks and stuff like that, which just blew my mind. But it was probably not the best way to get into the games because the sound wasn't good, but it still was worth it. I mean, the games are brilliant. I still have a sound card. I'll have you know. They're not so RIP, but they're a bit specialized now. I've got an Asus Sonar XONAR sound card, which is supposedly really good. I mean, I'm buggered if I can tell the difference, but but it's supposed to be really good. And I probably would still get another sound card if I upgraded my machine, if they were available, because it's kind of nice having a dedicated sound processing thingy. I'm sorry, I'm distracting myself here. I've been stuck on this page for the past half an hour, I think, but here we go. I'm getting there. But yeah, it's definitely something I'm looking forward to, and I'm really looking forward to it mostly because Eden. Like, I loved the summons in Final Fantasy. I mean, that is why I play Final Fantasy. I only play that to see what the cool summons are in this game, the ones, I mean, we all probably know of the infamous Supernova one in Final Fantasy VII, which, oh my god, that's going to be amazing in the remaster or the remake. Like, well, those are going to be so cool. Um, but Final Fantasy VIII had Eden, and that is the I don't even know what the hell is going on in that. There's huge machine things. There's space time warping. There's Earth turning into a magical alchemical circle thing that goes bong, and then shoots a laser beam out and blows up the heart of a galaxy or something. I don't know what is going on in it, but it's the most amazing thing I've ever seen, and I want to see it in full, 1080 resolution Technicolor, because it's going to be amazeballs. Yeah. I just keep watching it on YouTube every now and then just to ogle at the bizarreness of it. I mean, I just where the hell they get the ideas for these things? I mean, I just do not know. But it's great. So yeah, it'd be really cool to watch all the summonses again, all fancied up. And I'm glad, like, I think they're all of these things are coming out on PS4 as well, so I don't have to wait for the PS5s or whatever. No, Bahamut is the orbital space dragon. Or I think there's three, isn't it? There's Bahamut, there's a second Bahamut. I don't know if it's Mega Bahamut or something. And then there's Bahamut Zero, which is the orbital space dragon, who is like, I'm going to go all the way up in space, and you see the Earth there, and he's like gets his wings out and goes kaboom, and you get the orbital death beam thing. But they're all variations of orbital death beam, whereas Eden is just, Eden's like the supernova of Final Fantasy VIII. Really, it's just the most utterly ridiculous thing you can ever do. Yeah. Yeah. The most hilarious thing, I don't know if I mentioned this to you before, but I'll say it here anyway. I was at a friend's place, and he was showing me like the final Sephiroth battle or whatever in Final Fantasy VII, and he does the supernova thing. And so you go, you sit there and watch the whole thing happening, and make yourself a cup of tea, read War and Peace or whatever, come back and it's still going, and it finally, the blast wave gets to the Earth, and it goes miss. It was just like, how can you miss? How can you miss? You've literally blown up half the universe and you still missed. Like, I don't know how we managed it. I think we just had some ridiculous level of dodge or whatever skill it was. But it was hilarious. Good times. But yeah, I liked those. I did like the Final Fantasy stuff. I love the soundtracks as well. I mean, they're all amazing. Apparently they're all on streaming now, so we can stream them. Oh yeah, on like Spotify and stuff like that. But the Final Fantasy VIII orchestral soundtracks are just top notch. I mean, I love the battle theme. It's the best. It's one of the best soundtrack pieces I've ever heard. Partly probably because of the emotional connection with the game and stuff, but it's really, really cool. I love the was it Don't Be Afraid, I think it is. I am a big fan of that. And truth be told, I've forgotten most of the story of Final Fantasy VIII, so it'd be really nice to actually play it again from scratch. Oh, cool. Excellent. Yeah, 7 and 8 I've heard a lot of. I don't know... Have I got the Final Fantasy X one? Because I like 10 as well, but I don't know if I've ever sat down and listened to the story. I mean, the soundtrack. And that's the last one I've actually played. I haven't played any of the other ones. I played I played 7, 8, and 10. Then I played 9, and I didn't. I got about halfway through 9, but I didn't like it. They just couldn't get into it. Seemed a step back because they were, 8 was really kind of realistic at the time. I mean, nowadays it doesn't look great until the remaster comes out, but it was kind of a step back to cartoony kind of stuff, and I didn't really like that. And yeah, the story just didn't really grab me. But 10 was really good. That was more like 8. And then I didn't bother with the other ones, and I've got 15, but I haven't played it, so let's see how that goes. Oh, cool. Yeah, I just can't remember if I've got the X soundtrack, or if I've heard it. I haven't heard anything from 15 yet. I'm just leaving that till when I get the game. Cool. Oh, that's good then. Yeah, I'll have to see that. The other thing about 7, like 8 is still the same combat system, but 7 they're going real time with it. So I don't know if they've like taken the system from Final Fantasy 15 and just putting it into 7. But yeah, there's a lot more like strategic now, which will be interesting. I don't know if they're only giving you that option now, or if you have the option of going back to the old way of doing it. But we'll have to see. But yeah, Final Fantasy 7 and 8 coming out in revamped forms is pretty amazing. I forgot. I think they gave the release dates for them. I can't remember when they were though. So okay, we finally passed that hump there. But yeah, it's going to be good times ahead, I think. I'm glad. Once again, I'm glad that I got my my PlayStation, because it really has been worth its weight in gold, really. Just for the amount of the stuff I've streamed on it and the stuff I played on it. It's just, how did I get by without this? Oh, is it 15? 15's really easy, huh? Interesting. Yeah, I'm kind of a bit nervous about it because I don't know whether I'll actually do well with a real-time combat system, but I probably will. It's just a matter of learning how it all works, really, isn't it? Where's this thing? Is that what I'm looking for? Yes. And then there's these bits. But yeah, like the funny thing is, I have an Xbox, what's it, 360, and I never did anything with it except play Rock Band on it. Like I got Halo as well, but that was it. I wouldn't sit there and play it religiously like I did with the PlayStation when I got that, which is interesting. I mean, I don't know if it might be because of PlayStation Access, and they were getting me hyped up about games on the PlayStation that, I didn't have that for the Xbox, maybe. I don't know. But I think I've played a lot of the games I wanted to play on the PlayStation now anyway, like caught up on the back catalogue. But of course I've still got many games that I still actually have to play, like Observation and Adrift, and I think Control's coming out soon, which also looks really interesting. So yeah, lots more stuff coming. And this is all still on the PlayStation 4, and I think they have announced the PlayStation 5, haven't they? I think they said it's coming out next year, maybe. But all the games I want, I think, are coming out on the PlayStation 4. So that's good. Yeah, Rock Band Party at my place. I mean, I got the drums and everything. I can't play them because I'm in a flipping apartment and people complain about it. So that kind of puts a crimper on things. I used to go to a friend's place to play, but that's not an option anymore. Where does this click onto? That goes there. No, goes there. There. How does this work? This goes here, right. Yeah, it's good stuff. And now I can actually watch PlayStation Access and actually know what the hell they're talking about and go, oh, I'll go grab that game now because they're saying it's really cool and it looks really awesome. So that's also good. So this is weird because it's not quite lined up properly here. It seems like it should be one further back. It's like that should be one forward. Hang on. Oh yeah, I've still got to look through that. What's the date today? 14th. Yeah, so I've still got a few days to look at that. Am I? Sorry, I'm just having a look here because I don't know if I put these hooks in the right spot here. Yeah, no, that's correct, isn't it? Yeah, it's overhanging by one. Yeah, okay, that should be right. Because this is supposed to click. It's supposed to have these little things like that. And they're supposed to click into the stuff down here. But it kind of doesn't really. It's a bit off, see? Like a bit off. I'm not sure how I can deal with that. Because it doesn't look like that lines up. But yeah, I think I've got most of the days of play things already that I wanted. So this is weird. Is there? There's I'm missing a piece. That should go here, and then that will go on top, like that. Yeah, that works now. Okay. Pay some attention there. Right. Whap. Right, got it. We're good. And then that goes here. Right, and there we go. Yeah. So what did you pick up on the games of play then? Ultimately. I mean, I know you got Horizon Zero Dawn. There we go. Aha, now that works. Okay, there we go. Hey, so that's all clipped on. Now I'm doing this. Oh, should be okay. Hopefully my internet's not being weird. It has been a bit flaky today. But I mean, I'm watching the stream here, so I'll know if it's dying. Also, is this yeah. I think this is from Journey. If you haven't played Journey, play Journey. You probably played it on the PlayStation 3 or something, but it's really good. The soundtrack's amazing. Until Dawn, Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War, Red Dead Redemption, Detroit Become Human. Oh yeah, I'll have to see if I can pick that up. I don't know, that's one of those... Detroit is one of those games that all the streamers stream because it's full of interesting choices and stuff. I've not really seen that much of it though. I'm kind of hoping it dives into the more philosophical aspects of androids as well as the moral stuff. Because I like the philosophical things as well. Yeah. So have you played Journey? I'm sure I asked you that before at some point, but Heavy Rain. No, I've seen that one though. Looks a bit crazy actually, I think, but no, I think that's one of those you had to be there at that time when it came out, really. Oh yeah, for the love of God then, get Journey. It's amazing. It's really short. It's like a 2 or 3 hour game. I think the song playing now is from that. If you can hear it. Oh, I got 2 of them anyway. But the soundtrack is amazing and the game is amazing. It's really, really cool. Yeah, okay, oh. Yes, very Abzu-esque. Well, Abzu is very Journey-like, basically, because Journey came first. But yeah, they're very similar in feel. But Journey's really, really cool, and the soundtrack is amazing. I think, was it the same guy who did it as Austin Wintory? I think he did Journey and Abzu soundtrack. But yeah, if you like Abzu, you'll love Journey. It's very, very cool. Really, really pretty game. I was taking screenshots left, right and centre in that one. It was very nice. I did a stream of that one as well. It was only like 1 episode. What else is good? Unfinished Swan is pretty good as well, if you can get that. That's best played after Edith Finch though, because there's a little bit of a connection there, which I won't say anything more about. That's how I even found out about Unfinished Swan's existence, was from Edith Finch. Unfinished Swan, or The Unfinished Swan. It was I think it was a PlayStation 2 game, maybe, originally. So yeah, Unfinished Swan and Journey. Yeah, it's an interesting one because it's got this weird kind of paint mechanic. You basically, like, at the beginning you're just, the only way you can see the world is by throwing paint around, and it'll like splat on walls and things, and then they kind of evolve the mechanic along. Yeah, it's pretty neat little kind of fairy tale-y kind of game. But it's very nice. Click, click. Got to make a nice little fuel tank type things. Getting back to the Lego there for a second. Blip, but that's cool. Blah. Yeah, the nice, I guess the nice thing from your perspective is that the unfinished one is mostly just black and white and blue, I think, pale blue. So there's not a lot of things to get confused by, color-wise. Um, if you can't make out certain colors. What does it say? Lunar lander carried both fuel and an oxidizer to ignite the hypergolic fuel, since it is not possible to use fuel without an oxidizer in space. That's what this stuff is. Yeah, it's pretty neat. And it's a really nice little mechanic as well, the way they do it. So, and the way they... I do like how games teach you the mechanics, like, over time. You know, you just start off with this simple thing, and then by the end of the game you're like doing ridiculously complicated stuff because you've been basically trained by the game and how to do it. And it's quite amazing how that works, because you look at it going like, there's no way I can do that, and then you end up doing it. Which is very neat. Yes, I think I've barely actually talked about spaceships or even the moon while I built this, which is probably remiss of me, but yeah, I guess if you want to ask a question about space or the moon, then feel free. I just don't know where to start with this one. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know what that is, but I don't think I've seen that GIF. But yeah, I'll ask you next time. I need two of these, so what are we on here? I think this is Horizon Zero Dawn. Have you got the you said you've got the soundtrack. Have you got the Frozen Wilds soundtrack as well? Because that's also good. That's within the DLC. I think there's a separate soundtrack for it. So that goes there. There's a lot of soundtrack. There's like, it's about 50 odd tracks or something. Well, you've got yeah, the complete edition has the Frozen Wilds, but I don't know if it has the soundtrack to that, because I mean, I can't remember how I got my soundtracks. I think I got them separately or something. But yeah, if it doesn't, grab that as well, because it's more of the same, but in the Frozen Wild setting. If you do that in the game, you have to be I think it was about level 40ish or something to do the Frozen Wilds, I think. No, well, yeah, it's probably on Spotify then, but yeah, it's not something you can go into at the start. It's really hard. It's quite a challenging DLC, but it's really good. You almost have to do it kind of right before you get to the very last sort of stages of the story, of the main story. But yeah, if you get to that point and have a look at my streams, then where I went into it is about where you should go into that. I suppose I can look them up and tell you, but yeah, it's a fun one. I really love the background to Horizon Zero Dawn. Like, it's a really cool setting. I like my well, I like that kind of setting. he says, not giving anything away. So that's that, and then that's that. So he's building this bit. Hit. Come back. Yeah. Do not escape. Oh, Last of Us Remastered. Well, you saw me play that, and you played it yourself anyway, haven't you? Like the original one, but has that got Left Behind in it as well? Because you should play that as well. That was really good, really good. What was this? They got these two little black dude. That's these things, little black nub things, and then we put the little, I don't know what those are, knobby pipe things. Yes. I would play the Last of Us soundtrack, but on this loop, but it's like at least the main theme got muted by Twitch at some point for some reason. So I'm just afraid of getting things muted. But that's a good soundtrack as well. So what is going on here? We got man, we're still only at bag 2 here. We got that, and then what? We got 2 of these long things, and then we've got that. Have you actually played Left Behind? I forgot if you said that you had. Oh. Right, that plops in like that. And then I need one of these. Is it that? No, it's a sideways one. Where is sideways thing? There it is. So we're gonna make 2 of these apparently. Okay. They're on there. Things. Okay. Well, yeah. Make sure you play Left Behind after you do the main story. Very looking forward to Last of Us 2. That's going to be pretty awesome. I don't think they said anything about that at E3, did they? I don't recall seeing anything about it. But yeah, very stoked for that one. Probably going to be out in, what was it? Oh, great. Yay, clips. Probably me waving my arms around and getting all enthusiastic about something. Yeah, I'd heard they were going to release Last of Us 2 on the whatever it was, Outbreak Day or whatever it was, 26th of September. But I don't know if that's this year or next year. At least that's the impression I had. I don't know if that's actually correct or not, but that's what I thought they were going to be doing. Oh, the Lego ping, yeah. Cool. I've probably done enough Kermit flailing on this stream so far, enthusing about things. Well, hang on one sec. Ugh. 2020? Yeah, okay. But I bet you it'll be on the 26th of September. Which was the day I almost started my playthrough. I think I delayed it by a week, but it was entirely coincidental. So... oh, you're attaching to that. Right, so I attach these little nubbins to that. And to that. There we go. And then there's these two things. And that goes like that. Interesting. Okay. And this, I believe, is the Stellaris soundtrack in the background, which is also very good and has many songs. If you like eerie space electronic-y sounding stuff. Right, get round 2 done. So stick all that on. Yeah. So I just want to get through this little bit. There we go. Oh, this thing? Is it a solar panel? I don't know, because I think we're basically making this part here, I think. So it might be this bit. I don't think the lander had solar panels, did it? I can't think where they would have put them. But yeah, I'm not actually sure. Let's have a look. They had a little blueprint thing here. Nope. No solar panels on the blueprint here. So like, what was the power supply then? Just like, I guess they just burned up fuel or something, but batteries maybe? Yeah, I'm not sure what they actually used as a power supply there. I'll probably have to look that up later on, but I might have just burned fuel and that was that. That's probably the most sensible thing. Oh, nice. Well, I can point out a few locations for you to go, if you wish. But I mean, God, there's tons to do in London anyway. I mean, you're going to the right place if you want to go see things or have some history thrown at you. Although God knows what state it's going to be in September. What with all the... I suppose like the Brexit may or may not have happened by then, but who knows? No idea what's going on with that. I mean, I'm going back in December and like... I don't know if I'm going to go back to some post-apocalyptic wasteland at this rate, but... But yeah, definitely direct you to some decent fish and chips, that's for sure. God knows you can't get any around here. It's like North Americans seem to have no idea how to make proper fish and chips. It's just, they give you this plate that has like two things like this big of charred, battered fish, and it's just, oh, it's grim. It's grim. It's just not good. Proper fish and chips should be like one slab, like that big, preferably in newspapers, with chips, slathered in vinegar and lemon and everything, drowning in the stuff. I mean, that is how you do it. Yeah. Yeah, I probably ranted about that already, but I gotta do it for everyone else, right? But yeah, and like, if there is a good place to get that around here, I would love to know about it, because all the popular restaurants just don't seem to get it. Apparently, there's a supposed to be a good fish and chip shop. I don't know if it's still around. Like Barb's or something. It's like it kind of operates out of a shipping container or something. But it's supposed to be better than the rest, so I'll have to try and find that if it's still around. Redfish, bluefish. I mean, that rings a bell. Am I getting confused? I thought it was called Barb's, but maybe that's the person who runs it. I don't know. But redfish, bluefish also rings a bell. I don't know. I have to look it up. Like last time I saw it was years and years ago, so we'll have to see. Right, that's that lot. Something I can't read it from here. It's very Gregorian sounding. Yeah, we'll see. Oh, yeah, this is from Horizon Zero Dawn as well. That's pretty neat. Okay, got that. Putting that on there. Deep fried pickles. What madness is that? Like, how can you even deep fry a pickle? That sounds... I mean, it sounds interesting, but I'm just like, what the heck? That sounds different. But sure. Right, hang on. There should be another 4 here. Where's the other 4? 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Should that be a 4? No, there should be 2 3s. Right, sorry, I'm blind. Right, there we go, that makes sense. Put pickle in front. I'm just trying to imagine how that turns out. Like, does it harden even more crunchy or something? Or do they batter it or something? Oh yeah, it is a bit annoying when you're like, I know it's here somewhere. But it's worse when you just completely misinterpret what that piece was. um, like I just did. But also, I'm kind of doing this on autopilot as well, so I'm assuming I'm doing the right things. There we go. Stick you like that. Stick you like that. That should be it. So battered pickle, huh? That's. I suppose you can deep fry Mars bars, for God's sake. Like deep fry ice cream, for crying out loud. I mean, like, of course you can deep fry pickles. Why wouldn't you? How does this go? Kind of attaches like that. Oh, okay. Okay, I think yeah, like that. Yeah, okay, there we go. Always kind of amazes me the inventive ways they think of attaching things to make angles and crazy stuff like that. And then that goes here. I've got a horrible feeling I'm going to make 2 more of these, which is to go here. They're just breaking it up. Yeah, you know what really annoys me is when it's not just Lego pieces. Like if I think I've lost something that I am absolutely certain is here, you know, especially if I like lose keys or something. It's like I know they're here. Like I know they are in this place. I just cannot find them for the life of me. I'll turn everything upside down, and I'll look for it like twice. Turn the place completely topsy-turvy. And then find it in the place that I least expected it. So, all right, this is a new thing. But yeah, that's a special kind of infuriating. Right, so far this is working pretty similar. Maybe I'm going to just try and do these at the same time. Efficiency going. Okay. Okay, you're on there. So far you're turning out to be the same as before. Sorry, I should be doing it a bit more up here so you can see what I'm doing. Oh no. It's probably under the drawer or something. Or it might be in the drawer or something like that. Fallen between the drawers, behind them. Or just gone into extra dimensional space for all you know. There we go. Right. Put that there. Put that there. That's interesting. Sounds very like everybody's gone to the rapture, but it isn't. So I have to keep getting up because I can't see what the track is. I don't have my long range glasses on. Right, now we're going a bit different. We got these two bits. Oh yes, yeah. I've accumulated a lot. A lot of people seem to have watched the board game streams, interestingly. But I think honestly, it's because they're better advertised. Because computer games streams like I don't know where to advertise those really. I mean, everyone does those, but board game streams I can actually go onto like Facebook groups and things and say, hey, I'm doing a board game stream, and then I might actually get people watching. Why? No. Are we actually making two of these? Or am I just needlessly duplicating things? I think I'm needlessly duplicating things. Oh, maybe not. Like there's... yeah, I'll keep this one aside. Because it's... I guess these two bits are slightly different. Because the other one doesn't seem to have these two L-shaped black bits in them. So we'll just do it like that. Yeah, the only problem, the main problem with the board game thing is that like solo board games are, they're not really my thing. Like I always rather prefer, I'd prefer to play a multiplayer board game. I mean, it's been interesting to see what solo board games there are, but just like on my own, I don't think I'd play a solo board game. The only reason I got them was because I could actually play them on a stream and then have people watch and sort of get involved that way, and sort of comment on it and so on. Like, it's better with an audience, which is weird. But yeah, like the thing is, there's not a lot of board game streams where you actually have well, there's not a lot of like two-player ones, at least that I've seen, where you have like two people playing a game and you can actually see how the game is played then, because I think that would be more interesting. I'm just not sure if I could persuade my friends here that I play board games with to actually do that. Because there's a lot of games that I would love. I mean, there's some of the more complicated war games I've got. Like, I would love to see a playthrough of that, like properly done with two people. Because it's one thing to have the rules explained; it's another to just actually see how the game plays. But yeah, there's a lot of solo board games. There's a lot of the like the mainstream ones, even, or the more mainstream ones, are coming out with solo modes. Like, they're designed as multiplayer games, but they've also got like a one-player thing. Like a lot of the Uwe Rosenberg games, the Agricola, Le Havre, Caverna, Field de Val, all that kind of stuff. They have a solo mode. Terraforming Mars has a solo mode. What else? Things that involve like the role-playing game type stuff. Things where you're playing against the game, like Pandemic, I suppose, I think has a solo mode as well. Yeah, there's a lot of those mainstream games that have it, but war games, they are loads of those have solo modes, and there are actually war games that are just solo. But yeah, I mean, war games will be good. The only problem is that um, there aren't a lot of short war games. um, there's a lot of war games that are like, yeah, um, this is a short game that will only only be as long as a weekend. And you're like, nope, don't want to do that. Thank you. Because that's a bit excessive, I think. Um, but there are a few. There's a few little not hex encounter. What are they called? Command and Colors games. Like they're like just it's a battle. You just have pieces going up against each other. They fight it out, and then the battle ends, and it's done in an hour and a half or so. But and when I say war game as well, I'm not talking about with the miniatures, like Warhammer or stuff like that. I'm talking about actual, they're board war games. But yeah, there's a lot of solo ones. Like I played the Warfighter one a couple of times. Space Corp is a absolutely amazing solo game. I played that a couple of times on stream. Pavlov's House is a good one. Anything where like the board is trying to kill you, basically. If the game is trying to kill you, that can be a good solo game. It just depends how. It really depends on how well designed the AI or whatever it is in the game is. Some of them are very monstrous. I tried playing. I tried to learn Fields of Fire, which is another game that's got a. Funny enough, it's got a good reputation but it's among the people that like it. But it's one of those games that you either can climb the gigantic mountain of a learning curve that is the terribly written rulebook, or you don't, and if you manage to get through it, there's probably a good game under there somewhere. But if you can't figure it out, it's this horrific exercise in frustration. And that, I think, to be honest, that's kind of soured me on solo games for a bit, because wow, it was not an experience I want to repeat. It was just, at best, it was not for me. At worst, it's like I have no idea how anybody can understand that game. It's just the rulebook seems so bad. Sorry, I've got this the wrong way around. No, that's right. Yeah, so that's one reason why I was sort of having a break from solo games. But I still have a couple more I could play that are considerably easier than that. But I mean, another problem is that I just have to have the time and the energy to sit down and learn them, and I kind of hate learning games. I don't hate it, but I'm not a fan of it. Because especially these war games they're pretty complicated things, so it's quite heavy going. So having to do that every week to learn a new game, that's a lot of mental load, I think. So I think it's better if I would sort of spread it out a bit more, and don't try and do one every week, But Netrunner, oh yes, yes. I actually have a heck of a lot of Netrunner cards. I haven't played it for ages because I run into the usual problem that I have with that kind of game, which is that they're really fun to play, but it's the setup for it. Like it's like you have to do homework that is just like, I need to try and figure out what cards I want to put in my deck here and so on. And like that, Netrunner, X-Wing, and Armada are all games like that where I've got tons of stuff, but it's just sitting down and trying to figure out what fleet I want to play or what deck I want to play. I mean, with Netrunner, I just basically went, yeah, you know what, I'm just going to go online and download some decks that people have and just make them myself rather than come up with my own, because they're probably going to be better at it than I am. And I can, or help me understand how it works, But yeah, I mean, I got the friend of mine that I play with. He actually used to be really good at Magic, or he still is really good at Magic. So he's good at doing that design stuff, but I sadly am not. But it would be a fun one to stream. I think they did have an online version of it, or it was like a fan-made online version of it, and it kind of surprises me that they never did a proper, full, professional version of it, because it's the sort of game that I think it would be awesome if you could play against an AI. We've got a little tape deck here. Yeah, it's a fun game. I like the background to it. And again, Netrunner is another game that was based off sort of random trivia. It was based off Cyberpunk 2020 originally. The first edition of it has lots of 2020 references. But then when Fantasy Flight took it over, they turned it into the Android setting, which is a cyberpunk setting, but not the cyberpunk setting. So they lost all of that. But if you have a look at the original, like there was a little box that it was like green and purple box, and it just said Netrunner. It was the first incarnation of the game. If you have a look at that, if you're familiar with the 2020 rules, you'll see a lot of familiar things like trauma teams and stuff like that, Arasaka Corp, all that stuff, which we're going to see again hopefully in 2077. Right. Where am I putting this? I am putting this here. No, here. Okay. What's going on here? I think this is right. Got this tape deck that's largely hidden, it seems. Yes, Cyberpunk 2020 was a role-playing game, a tabletop role-playing game. It was basically the ultimate cyberpunk role-playing game. Like, it is, nothing else comes close to this in terms of cyberpunkiness. It had every all the proper cliches and stuff, and it was deadly. And it was just it was all style over substance. It was really, really cool. Shadowrun is the other big cyberpunk RPG, but it's not really. Shadowrun is an interesting game, but it's cyberpunk plus magic, and it has a really cool background as well. But it doesn't have the same feel. Although, like I said, it's a really interesting setting as well. But cyberpunk has always got a place in my Chrome heart. Yeah, Shadowrun's cool. Like I think they moved away from it, but they had this really cool tie-in with the Earthdawn role-playing game as well. Because Earthdawn was, the idea of Shadowrun was that magic comes and goes in cycles over the ages. and we're living in the not one of the dips where there's no magic, or it's a low magic era, and then stuff happens, and magic returns to the world, and then you've got technology and magic coexisting. And Earthdawn was originally the previous age before ours that had magic, I think. So it was kind of set in basically essentially what is now the Ukraine, like that area, that sort of northeast Mediterranean kind of area. And it was so it had that sort of somewhat familiar geography, but of course all the cultures and stuff were completely different. They weren't well, I say they weren't based on anything that came later, but now I think about it, they actually were, because you had a kind of what did you have? You had was it a Rome analog? Was that like the Theran civilization? I think you had an Egypt analog. I think the actual Turkey area was Barsave, or Ukraine area. That area was called Barsave, and that was more of a mishmash of stuff. But there were different. There were definitely there was a Greek or Roman type civilization. There was like an Egyptian type civilization. If you went further out into the world, there was like a Proto-Aztec type thing. So they were kind of based on the later civilizations, but they had their own unique magical twists. But yeah, they used to tie that in with Shadowrun, and then as it changed publishers and so on, they dropped that connection, unfortunately. But it made for some interesting background, because some of the characters that were in Shadowrun actually were originally in Earthdawn, which was pretty neat. So I think that's now good. So what is this? The camera in Quadrant 4 filmed Armstrong as he climbed down the ladder and placed his foot on the moon. Okay, so is this a camera? Maybe this is the camera. Like poking in there. I don't know what that is. Let's see. Oh man, I certainly am prattling on a lot in this this one. Now, am I missing something here? I'm missing I'm missing one of these things. I believe it's added there, so I didn't miss it completely. Ladder object for climbing onto the moon. Where's that from? Did I miss that somewhere, or? Oh, it's just the... Yeah, well, you gotta get down somewhere. And there is definitely a ladder here. One bona fide ladder. Alright, that's the fourth one there. And the four smoothie thing. Yeah, so interesting. I guess the camera. Well, I guess if that's the camera, then this is on the side of the thing, and the camera pops out like that. I guess, or maybe like that. I don't know if that's supposed to be it, but that makes more sense, I guess. And then that's a 3 and a 3. Yeah, no, I don't think we need a definition of a ladder somehow. I think that's pretty obvious. So speaking of space things, since I'm building one and listening to the Surviving Mars soundtrack now, if you enjoy flying around in space, on on Steam, Space Engine is now sort of officially released, at least in early access form. But I definitely recommend that if you want to just have a game where you're just flying around the universe and seeing stuff. It's like exploring in Elite Dangerous without the boring grind, basically. Which side does that go? But yeah, it's a fun one for sure. Very pretty. They've really bumped up the graphics in this version. So where is this going? It's like that, I guess. Yeah. Damn it. Yeah, but I mean the thing with Space Engine is it's a very much a fully formed game. Like it's been in development for ages. Um, you know, and it's literally, I mean, it is literally the entire universe. Like, I mean, a lot of it is procedurally generated, um, but it's got like, you know, you can basically go to the Milky Way, go anywhere in the Milky Way. A lot of the real stars are there. Anything that isn't is going to be a procedurally generated system. And then you can just go to another galaxy and you can just keep going, like, and you can go like, I mean, you zoom out far enough and you've got that whole thing of like there are as many galaxies as there are stars in our own galaxy, if not more. And it just procedurally generates this whole thing, and it's incredible. I don't know how they do it, but it's basically you can just go at your own speed, right? You don't have to just get tied down to the thing in Elite where you've got to have the fuel, and you've got to only jump a certain range and so on. You can just go anywhere as fast as you like, basically. So it's really, really fun. Very kind of relaxing. So I would recommend that. It's about 20. I think it's about $21 or something, but it's worth it. It's a very cool space sim, and I have done a few streams on a previous version of it quite a while ago. They're sort of in my stream archive. But yeah, it's worth a look. So here's a thing I made earlier, which I started, and then we got to this stage where we put that bit on, and then we do different things. Yeah, it's a really again, it's like a screenshot generator. The thing I don't like about I mean, the thing I really don't like about Elite is it really is just a dice, you know, it's a pretty dice rolling engine, because every time you jump into a new system, you don't know what you're going to see, but you have to go through the whole rigmarole of like scanning, and you scoop up your fuel, and then off you go, and it's just this repetitive, you know, thing of like you arrive in the system, swoop past the star, line up with your next system, do your scan, see if there's anything interesting, scan it. Once you've done that, off you go to the next star, you know, and then maybe you can take screenshots, you know, if there's anything interesting there. But that's it, just repeat ad nauseam, and then every now and then, like every 1,000 systems, you might find something interesting that's worth taking a picture of. But you know, that's about it. But Space Engine, you can just like zoop there straight away, have a look. Is that interesting? No, carry on. Just go and find something else that is interesting. And the graphics in Space Engine are way better than in Elite, because they're more ray traced. I think, like you get like, you know, the thing that annoys the hell out of me in Elite is that, you know, you can't get multiple light sources, and you can't, you don't see ring shadows and moon shadows, and the black holes don't refract the light like that's in the system, you know, and the lighting isn't done properly and so on. But Space Engine, it's all good, so it looks like what you'd expect to actually see. So it's really good. It's a way better space simulator than Elite is. But then again, to be fair, Elite is more of a game. You know, it's you know, and it's got limitations because of that, because it's got to do things in a certain way that just a simulator can't or doesn't have to. Right, where's the other bit for this? What am I looking for? Two of them. There it is. Oh, yeah, well, if and when I upgrade my system, which I may upgrade like later this year, see how much, how well I'm doing after I come back from my holiday, money-wise, but, I mean, I think my computer's about 6 or 7 years old now. It's getting on a bit. It's still good, but it's starting to feel a bit small and slow, and which is ridiculous because it's like a quad core and has like 24 gig of RAM on it, but it still feels slow. I feel like it could definitely be faster, put it that way. Get in there. Alright, we're nearly at the end of bag 2. It's 10:50, blimey. I may have to finish this on Monday. But we'll see. I could actually do that, because this would be a good point to end at the end of bag 2, wouldn't it? Bag 3, quite a bit of stuff in. I'm not sure if I've got it in me anymore to stay up late. I'm just getting old or something, but I used to be able to stay up till 2 in the morning and I'll be fine. But past like year or so, I've just been getting noticeably tired around about midnight, and nowadays I have to go to bed before midnight, which was unheard of before. So yeah, I'm just getting old. So yeah, I may just end this when I finish this bag for now, and we'll carry on Monday, but we'll see. There we go. Oh, the crinkly stuff. Sorry. Yeah, it's right next to the microphone. Sorry, I forgot about that. Sorry, my bad. Where are we here? There's like RIP headphones or something. I'm gonna put that there. They keep you on your toes. Oh, hey, look, we got another factoid here. So that goes here. That goes here. And that goes here. Oh, what's this? Oh, we got another sticker. Ooh. What's this? We got that, and that, and that, and that, and then on the underside of that we have 5. What's that's this thing. And that goes. I'm putting stickers on it so fiddly. There we go. Yay! Yes, 3D chatting is nice. But yeah, it's been good. It's been good to have someone to chat to. That's always good. Where is this going? This is going. It just slots in. Just sort of seems to say it just plops in. I got it like that, and I got it like that, and then this just goes in like that, I guess. Oh, you know what this is? I get it. Right, sorry, I will explain what this is. This finally clicked. So a little factoid here says, the laser reflector in quadrant 2 was placed on the surface of the moon. When a laser light was pointed at it from Earth, the distance to the moon could be measured. So that's what this is. This is a laser reflector. It goes like on the floor, basically. So you've got the your lunar lander thing here, and your laser reflectors on the floor, as seen in the picture here. That's what that is. Okay, so yeah, so this is a little thing that pops out when you need it. So yeah, no, this is not uranium. I don't think they had any radioisotope generators or anything on this. There, I can get in there again. Come on, fumble, get in there. Yeah. Like it plopped in perfectly first time, and now it doesn't want to do it. There we go. Right, got it. Right, so put them there. But yeah, they still do the. I mean, this is the thing. This is the. You know, don't get me started on the lunar landing conspiracy mob here, but like this laser reflector is still on the moon, and we still send laser beams to it, you know, every now and then, because it's no moving parts, you know, like we know exactly where it is, you know. So it's like when people go, oh, people haven't landed on the moon. Not yet. They did. They put that there, and we can fire lasers at it. So yeah. That's that basically. end of discussion. But yeah, I mean it's quite cool that they can even just go, yeah, we just know where it is, so we can just aim directly at it and we'll time the laser pulse coming back. Because you know, it's science. No, I think we just had a bit of Edith Finch soundtrack there as well. Sorry, cram this. Come here, you little. Stay there. I'm gonna try and fit this in that. Damn it. There we go. Try and fit this so that it actually wants to be where it has to be. There we go. And then there we go. Right, gotcha. Right, so you're. I think you're all aligned correctly. That's the back one. How did that come out? That came out like that. This doesn't have a hinge. This has a hinge. And this doesn't have a hinge. So these two have hinges. Like that. Don't make me like ban you or anything there. Right. Okay. I got loads of stickers put on now. Okay. So now we have to make sure we put things on the right spot, right? So let's not rotate this too much. Camera is here. Okay, so that's a camera. So that we can rotate that round. That. Everything's falling apart. Come back. Right. There we go. So we rotate that around. So we're the same orientation. Right, so now we're going to start putting the stickers on, so it's going to actually look even cooler. But I'm going to make sure I do this right. So 9, 8 and 14 go on this one, because that's where the camera is. We got the white and the red, we got the red and the white, red there, white there. Yeah, so this is the right orientation. So we need a 9 and an 8. So 8 is at the bottom here. So that goes like this, which is going to be interesting. My bad close range vision here is not helping. Okay, that's that one. 9 is this one. So this is going like that. There we go. And then we've got a United States text thing there. 14. That goes in here. There we go. United States. Ta-da. Well, I try and do it perfectly, but okay, so now that's correct, right? That's looking correct. Now we rotate it so that we're looking at it like this. We attach this doohickey, technical term, to here. Is this another foldy one? No? No. Okay, so we've got that there. And then we fold that back up. Yeah, we fold that back up. So on this one, on the camera one, we put, that is the camera one, right? Yeah, camera one, we put this big guy. Like that. So this is where we get a little bit tense, but yeah. There we go. And then we put the flag one on the bottom. Oh. Yeah, when I was a kid, I wasn't really into them, but big into them, but I did make a few Airfix models. I don't know, I presume you have Airfix over here, but they're yeah, like planes and stuff, right? But their stickers they're put on as like transfers, like you wet them and then you kind of smear them onto the surface that you're supposed to put them in, and I used to put them all on like upside down or wonky or wrong, and it was just so bloody difficult to do. I always wondered why they did that. I guess they didn't stick on the paint or something. I don't know. But yeah, it was interesting times with that. Nowadays with stickers, it's kind of just potluck. Sometimes I'm good, sometimes I'm bad. At least like if you put your Bastion stickers on upside down, you just take the piece off and turn it the other way around, can't you? Wouldn't that work? Oops, that. I mean, I would assume that would work. All right, there we go. So we got that. We got the doohickey on this one. We got the nothing on this one. We got the United States on that one. Oh, we got some more. Still some more pieces to put on. 4 around there. That's interesting. How does that work? Why are you saying that's level with that? Have I missed something? What am I doing here? This apparently should be level with this, so what have I done wrong? Yeah, no, that's way higher up. I missed I think I should have put some of these down. Hang on. Crisis! I really hate it when these things, you have to go back 20 steps to find out what went wrong. Oh, they've got some pieces here that I missed. How did I miss that? That should be there. Where did I miss that? Oh, here. Okay, that's not a horrendous crisis. I just have to do this basically. So 2 of that, put that there, and then put that here, and then put that there, and then put this on here, which makes it a little bit easier to put on as well. There we go. So it's like this. It's higher up. So I just have to repeat that around the thing carefully so I don't screw up the order of the things. No, are you back? I'm assuming I'm not freezing here because it still looks like I'm okay, but stream wise, given the internet problems I've had today, if I was freezing here I would actually be disconnecting, so it doesn't look like I've disconnected. Yeah, it's like everyone's having fun with the interwebs today. Alright, so figured out how to fix this anyway, so just need to put these little bits here, which explains why I had so many pieces left over. And then do that, and then do this, and we're good. There we go, and then we put that and that, and then we're fine. And then put that there, and we put that there, and we have the bus done. And then we just put these 4 bits on here, which now makes sense because now this is level. And then it goes on here, so that attaches that down, that fixes that down, and we have some random bits left over, and we're starting on bag 3, which is the rest of the lander. But since it's 11 o'clock, I think I am going to call it there. Oh yeah, did you not see the spaceman? So he's got this ridiculously convoluted helmet thing. But yeah, he has a little jetpacky, well, oxygen tanks and stuff. Let's put that on there, and there you go. And then he goes on the here somewhere, I guess. Just stand him on that. So there you go. If you, I'll show you a little better view. There you go. Spaceman. So that's him. Yeah, he's cool. I guess there's two. Yeah, because there's two in the picture. There should be two. But I haven't seen the other one yet. I guess he's in one of the other bags. So yeah. So one's Neil Armstrong and the other one's Buzz Aldrin. Right. Ugh, I think I'm done for the day on that one. So yeah, I'll carry on Monday. And we'll finish it off on Monday, I think. So let's see if I can put this stuff together. Darn it, can't quite put it together. All the spare bits, like they don't have enough. Don't have enough bits yet to just assemble them all together, so I'll just leave them over here. Alright, so yeah, I'll leave that here, and we can start part 3 on Monday. So yeah, that's it from me there, I think. So yeah, thanks for tagging along and joining me and chatting. Was very fun. Hopefully you can make it on Monday. But if not, the VODs are going to be there. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. So Monday 8 o'clock we'll finish this off, and then Friday probably we'll see about starting up Assassin's Creed Odyssey again, maybe, or doing another computer game. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, and yes, the brightness issue was solved because basically I was a numbskull and forgot about the exposure settings. Maybe I just assumed that it was doing auto exposure or something, but I still should have checked. So I know for next time anyway. All right, I'm done. So thank you for joining me. I will see you next time. Ta-ta!